Hello and welcome to As the World Burns. Because we were kind of chilling a little bit, we never ended up doing a January and February news headline, so we kind of missed what was going on in January and February a little bit. So we decided to take a look back and see what exactly happened this January and February. It must have been pretty eventful.
My fellow Americans.
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
A man holds in his mortal hand the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
He says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that.
All right, for January, the first one that we have up on the headlines is Cops Forced to Explain Why AI-Generated Police Report Claimed Officer Transformed into a Frog. I would imagine that went pretty well, that press conference. I don't think that was like a lizard scenario. I think that was just AI, just like getting its wires crossed, but, you know, that's pretty interesting. Reporter vowed to stop watching news and avoid the dentist and other weird resolutions in 1987. That's crazy. A fortune teller accused of stealing phone to make bad luck prophecy come true. That's crazy. The fortune teller stole this person's phone to make them have a shitty day. That's wild. In Paris, a man pulls the sword from the Joan of Arc's equestrian statue in broad daylight. That's fucked up.
These are some good pulls. I think everything's been so war focused and Epstein focused that like I haven't heard of any of these wacky events happening.
Oh, I know. There's been a weird set of events in the past, like, couple months. There has been, like, some weird shit that's kind of just gone and flown under the radar. It's, like, kind of Florida man type shit that's happened. It's all, like, shit that's just, like, why would you do that? What? If you hear one that you want me to read, too, let me know. We got a French university where spies go for training. I forgot which university that is, but, you know, if I know, they'd probably have to kill me. More than 100 people gather in Glasgow to watch full force kicking the balls. So that's a really good one. I like that one a lot. Maybe we should read that one. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's see. That seems like the most important poll from the headline so far. Hundreds gather in Glasgow to watch, quote, full force kicking the balls. The avant-garde event was billed as a final send-off to male anatomy before a trans person's bottom surgery. When the kick delivered... That's crazy. With the kick delivered alongside a flute accompaniment, a poster which circulated online read, "Come watch me get kicked in the balls one last time before bottom surgery." That's very remarkable. That's incredibly remarkable.
Yeah, that's different.
That is very different. The kick would be delivered big boot execution style and by a large dick it. And by a large dick, it said. Okay. All right. The promo flyer finished. This poster is not a bit. I am actually being kicked hard in the cock and balls. LMAO. Maximum disrespect. A nice Sunday out for the polycule. End quote. Welcoming the approximately 120 people who had turned out in Glasgow Queen's Park, the performers said they had put up one flyer at my local bookshop and had expected maybe 10 people to turn up. What? To cheers, they went on, "I made it to the top of the bottom surgery list. I promised someone like 5 months ago if I did, I'd get kicked in the nuts as a consequence. I'm shaking. I'm also thrilled," they added. The kicker then took over, saying that the event was about the transience of human experience. If you know that, you will never feel something again in your life, even if that is an unpleasant something, surely one last time, they said. That's fascinating.
This sounds like how you get phantom ball pain.
I've got phantom ball pain from hearing the story, to be honest with you.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
The audience was asked not to video the event on their phones or upload any clips to the internet, with the host saying that an official videographer would capture it. One performer then squatted with their back turned before they were delivered a swift kick to the genitals. They crumpled to the ground amid cheers from the crowd. With Glasgow, locals heard to shout, "Now do it again, and what about the other testicle?" The accompanying flute then played the last post, "My people, my city, my heart." A post online reportedly written by the performer said, "I fall to the ground and languish a moment. I can feel it more in my lower chest than I can in my groin, but the humor and adrenaline lift me and I'm laughing on my feet again soon. I kneel for the last post." Wow. Interesting. So that was one for the books. The next headline is, "A nude woman was arrested after trying to be a mermaid in a private pond." I mean, was it her pond? If it was her pond, then just let her do her thing. But if it's not, then, I get it.
I mean, if it's a private pond, you're allowed to be nude in your own private pond, so it's definitely not that.
Yeah. Well, what if she was a mermaid? Maybe she
Moving on.
was. Well, because didn't what's her face have to go to water in order to become a mermaid? Isn't there some kind of mermaid tale that's like that? So maybe
Do you
she's
believe in
trying to go.
mermaids?
I'm just saying.
Do you believe in mermaids?
This is a paranormal and conspiracy podcast, and also all for entertainment and satire purposes only. So I'm not, I'm not saying I don't believe in mermaids. I'm just saying, I'm entertaining it.
I'm not.
All right. Bank of England must plan for a financial crisis triggered by aliens. So I think we talked about that at one point. Maybe not on air, but just as a thing. That's a thing that was happening.
That's interesting.
It is. It is. Actually, do you want to read that one real quick and find out what they
Yeah.
say? All right. All right. Well, let me just read the next headline real quick. "Beloved walrus penis stolen from New Jersey cheesecake eatery." All right. Let's read the Bank of England plan for financial crisis triggered by aliens. The UK must plan for a financial crisis that would be triggered if the US government announces that aliens exist, a former Bank of England expert has said. Helen McCaw, who served...
What would be the problem? Like, what? Why would there be a financial crisis? What's?
I mean, I think it would lead to a lot of people like
What's gonna fall?
not believing in institutions as much anymore. I think that's what they're worried about.
Like, are we gonna buy less Coca-Cola?
We're gonna rename it to like Alien-a-Cola,
Yeah.
Kleborp-a-Cola,
Earth Cola. Because they're gonna
Earth
start
Cola.
like selling Earth to other aliens.
Terra-Cola.
Terra
That'd be a
Cola.
good name, actually.
What if aliens call Earth like Terrakia or something?
Terrakian Brews. That would be pretty funny, honestly. I would love to know what aliens call Earth. So if anybody can let us know in the comments what aliens call Earth, also like and subscribe. But if you could let us know in the comments what aliens call Earth, that would be much appreciated. We don't know. All right. Helen McCaw, who served as a senior analyst in the financial security at the UK Central Bank, has written to Andrew Bailey, the Bank of England's governor, urging him to set out contingencies in case the White House ever confirms the existence of alien life. They're like, we don't give a shit if, like, the monarchy ever confirms it, but if the White House ever did, we got to know. We got to know what to happen. Miss McCaw, who worked for the Bank of England for 10 years until 2012, said politicians and bankers can no longer afford to dismiss talk of alien life, and warned a declaration of its nature could trigger bank collapses. She reportedly said the U.S. government appears to be partway through a multi-year process to declassify and disclose information of a technologically advanced non-human intelligence responsible for the UAP phenomena. That was kind of redundant. If the UAP proves to be non-human origin, we may have to acknowledge the existence of power or intelligence greater than any government and with potentially unknown intentions. I think that's where it stops. Oh, nope. Her warning comes as senior American officials have recently indicated their belief in the possibility of alien life. In a recent UFO documentary, The Age of Disclosure, 34 U.S. government insiders, including those from the military and intelligence community officials, were spoken to about an 80-year global cover-up of non-human intelligent life and a secret war among major nations to reverse engineer advanced technology of non-human origin, according to the film's description. The director, Dan Farrar, spoke with sources including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, New York Democrat Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, and former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper to discuss the government's work with UAPs, the formal term for UFOs. All right, is that it? Ms. McCaw said UAP disclosure is likely to induce ontological shock and provoke psychological responses with material consequences. There might be extreme price volatility in financial markets due to the catastrophizing or euphoria and a collapse in confidence if market participants feel uncertain on how price assets using any of familiar models. Holy
They're
shit.
worried that either things are going to be like really bad and everybody's freaking the fuck out, or it's going to be like they even said the euphoria of this reveal could shake things up in a bad way for their pockets.
Well, yeah, because then people are gonna suddenly stop like feeding into bullshit as much.
People stop watching TV.
Yeah.
Any story, they're like, we don't care right now.
Yep.
Tell us about these aliens.
We want to understand this.
People are going to stop marrying other humans, and they're going to be like, I want to be with an alien.
Alternatively, she said precious metals might lose their status as perceived safe assets if people speculate new spacefaring technologies will soon increase the supply of precious metals. Oh yeah, so we see her game and all their games. They're just worried about their assets. That's it.
Yeah, they like scarcity.
All right, on to the next headline. I think we got that one.
It's like Donald Trump saying, like, if you already own property, we're gonna make your property even more valuable. Which is like, what you're saying is you're gonna make it for everybody else. You're gonna make it way harder for them.
Well, exactly. So, I know we read the next headline, but just as a refresher, beloved walrus penis stolen from New Jersey cheesesteak eatery.
Dude, you're such a sicko.
100 skulls and bones found in Pennsylvania man's basement, police say. Whoa, that's an interesting one.
Is he in custody?
I don't know. I mean, I would imagine if the police are saying it. If he's not in custody, I wonder. Man charged after more than 100 skulls and bones found. Oh, that was just an AI summary. Bones and skulls visible in the backseat of a car near an abandoned cemetery on Philadelphia's outskirts led police to a basement filled with body parts, which authorities say were hoarded by a man now accused of stealing about 100 sets of human remains. Officers say Tuesday night arrest culminated a months-long investigation into break-ins.
He was arrested
At a Mount Moriah cemetery. Yep. Where at least 26 mausoleums and vaults had been forced open since early November. So this is just some sicko trying to like get at dead bodies and shit. Mummified hands, feet, 2 decomposing torsos, and other skeletal items. They were in various states. Some of them were hanging as it were. Some of them were pieced together. Some were just skulls on a shelf.
That shit's really valuable. That's why people do that.
I didn't know that. That's crazy. Most were in the basement, authorities said, and they also recovered jewelry believed to be linked to the graves. In one case, a pacemaker was still attached. That's fucked up. Police say Gerlach targeted mausoleums and underground vaults at the cemetery. It's considered the country's largest abandoned burial ground, according to Friends of Mount Moriah Cemetery, which helps maintain the 160-acre landmark in Yeed that's home to an estimated 150,000 grave sites. Wow. Interesting. All right. So, next one is single elephant suspected to have killed 13 people in just a week in Indian jungle. That's crazy. That elephant, he doesn't forget. Just going around, he's killing people.
We've pissed off the elephants.
Dude,
We've gone too far.
Dude, last year or the year before that, we pissed off the whales and the dolphins or whatever. This year, we're pissing off the elephant. We gotta watch out. A man arrested under 1889 dueling law after deadly street fight in Tokyo. That sounds fucking cool. Should we read that one?
I guess.
It does sound pretty dope.
Check it out.
Japanese authorities applied an 1889 anti-dueling law to arrest a man over a fight that resulted in his opponent's death in Tokyo's red light and entertainment district, police said Friday. The face-off took place on a street in September in the Kabukicho, what is that? Kabukiko area of the capital after the suspect and the dead man agreed to fight each other. Police spokesman Michiro Hirota told AFP. Tokyo police on Wednesday arrested Fuzuki Asari, 26, unemployed, on suspicion of having conspired with someone else to have a duel and causing injury resulting in the death of his 30-year-old adversary, Hirota said. The suspect committed acts of violence such as throwing the opponent Naya Matsuda, who died on October 12th at the hospital in Tokyo of multiple organ failure caused by head injuries, the spokesman said. The crime was investigated and announced by the Tokyo Police Organized Crime Control Division, he said. After he was arrested, arrested. Azari allegedly admitted to the allegation, saying, "I am deeply sorry that my opponent died." According to the Tokyo Reporter, it was not specified whether any weapons were involved in the fight. The Tokyo Reporter, citing police, said Ansari met the victim for the first time on the day of the fight. What? That's crazy. The 1889 law stipulates that anyone who has engaged in a duel shall be punished by imprisonment for no less than 2 years and no more than 5 years. The suspect's other alleged crime, causing death from involuntary injury, would lead to no less than 3 years in prison, according to Japan's criminal law. Although it is rare to apply the anti-dueling statute in Japan, there was a case in October when police in Gunma Prefecture, north of Tokyo, arrested a high school student and a man on suspicion of dueling, the Asahi Shimbun reported. In 2007, a deadly shootout in West Virginia led police to file a rare charge of murder by duel. The law, written in 1849, reads, "If any person fight a duel in the state, and in doing so inflict a mortal wound, he shall be deemed guilty of murder." West Virginia became a state in 1863. I love how they threw that in there at the end. All right, wasn't much meat on that bone, no pun intended, but still interesting nonetheless.
It's crazy that the place where samurais are from doesn't allow dueling.
Yeah, or that, it kind of allows it, but in a weird way. Like, it doesn't, you still get arrested. That is pretty fucked up. Waymo passenger jumps out of self-driving car after it stops on rail tracks near oncoming train. Cool. Good for him. Mattel adds autistic Barbie doll line. Yeah, that's good. That's a good ad.
That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah, that's an interesting one there. Man tries to board flight with dead wife at popular vacation spot. Interesting. Should we read that one or skip to the next one?
Let's
keep going.
Yeah.
Man tries to board flight with dead wife. When hasn't that happened, you know? Physician assistant arrested for trespassing offered police $5,000 before officers found cocaine, detectives say. That's hilarious. Nuclear weapons are now ESG compliant. I don't know what that means, but hey.
look that up.
ESG compliance is the adherence to laws, standards, and ethical practices.
Nuclear weapons should never be ethically sound. Like, I don't understand how.
A company's environmental impact, social obligations, and corporate governance. It involves managing risks, ensuring in operations, and meeting investor regulatory expectations regarding sustainability.
How could it ever pass this?
I don't know. It's an interesting. Man successfully registers potato as a silent. That's crazy. Massage parlor employee began defecating toward police to evade arrest. Quote, cops. Wow. A pet cow in Austria started using a broom to scratch herself. The first ever documented case of bovine tool use. That's pretty cool. That's really sick. So what if the cows take over? They deserve it. A Florida woman sues IVF clinic after allegedly birthing someone else's baby. Whoa. Defendant on the run after affixing ankle monitor to dog. Whoa, how did that happen? Alaska art student arrested for eating another student's AI-generated art in protest. I think I actually heard about that when that happened. Delaware man accused of having sex with a prostitute on a school bus. Whoa.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy. Chips Ahoy, English beach covered in French fries and onions after cargo ship spill. UK town cancels New Year fireworks for walrus only for it to masturbate and leave. Well, there's a lot of crazy raunchy headlines this month. Oh shit. Rogue elephant kills 22 in terrifying 10-day rampage. I bet you that's the same elephant. He's killed more people.
You think so? Is it?
I think it is.
It's kind of crazy of it. Either way, it's crazy.
Yeah. Officials in India are on the hunt for an elephant that has killed more than 20 people. I think it is the same elephant, dude, honestly.
Did the number go up?
I think it did. 22 people in just 10 days. Holy shit. Officials in India are on the hunt for an elephant that has killed more than 20 people in a 10-day rampage through the eastern state of Jharkhand. Since the beginning of January, 22 people have been killed by the animal, including an 8-month-old baby and a wildlife expert called in to contain it. Authorities have announced compensation for their families. Terrifying footage of an attack shows dozens of locals running for their lives as the animal rushes towards them. One man can be seen colliding with the elephant before being sent crashing into the ground. The majority of attacks have taken place at night, with the elephant entering small villages and tearing through forests. The region has been put on high alert, and residents living in Chaibasa district have been warned to stay away from the forest and not go out at night. One of the victims, 34-year-old Mengal Singh Hembram, was attacked near his home in Bujari village while returning from work, officials said. In a nearby village, 62-year-old Erdub Bahoda was killed while watching over his field. According to his family, later the same night, Vishnu Sundi, 42, from another neighboring village, was trampled to death while sleeping, according to his son. In another incident on January 5th, Kundra Bahoda and his two children, 6-year-old Kodama and 8-year-old Samu, were killed by the elephant. Oh my God. Forest officials have said they believe the young male elephant, who was identifiable by a single tusk, had been separated from his herd and become extremely violent. The animal is believed to be in moose, a mating phase marked by extreme hormonal surges, heightened aggression, and sexual drive. Man, everybody is getting a weird sexual energy apparently lately. That's
what?
That's apparently what I'm getting out of like January.
Everyone?
January. Well, not everyone, not like, but like all these like weird shitty things that are happening in January are all just weird, like,
Do you have a weird sexual energy? I mean, oh shit, hold on.
Come on. No. And no. To answer your question, no.
Let me read that line again.
No, please don't. Taurus mauled by snow leopard while trying to take a photo. Chinese media reports. Maybe it's just like it's weird sex stuff and then animal stuff. Florida teen arrested after violently bashing mom with a pork chop. I don't even want to go there. Man arrested again for seeking diaper changes. Okay. NASA and DOE to elaborate on lunar nuclear reactor development. Maybe we should read that one. Let's see. All right. NASA and the Department of Energy have agreed to work on development of nuclear reactors for the moon as industry awaits the release of a final call for proposals. NASA and the DOE announced on January 13th that they had signed a memorandum of understanding related to NASA's Fission Surface Power program. Under the program, NASA will work with industry through one or more funded Space Act agreements to develop a nuclear reactor capable of operating on the moon. NASA announced last summer that it would pursue FSP, a public-private partnership, according to a memo signed July 31st by the agency's acting administrator, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. The system is required to produce at least 100 kilowatts of power and be ready for launch by the end of 2029. America is committed to returning to the moon, building the infrastructure to stay, and making the investments required for the next giant leap to Mars and beyond.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman said it in a statement. Achieving this future requires harnessing nuclear power. This agreement enables close collaboration between NASA and the Department of Energy to deliver capabilities necessary to usher in the golden age of space exploration and discovery. In the golden age of space exploration and discovery, he said. The announcement did not disclose the details on how the two agencies would work together. NASA has cooperated with the DOE on nuclear power with systems for decades, including a project called Kilowatt Reactor using Stirling technology, or Krusty. That's funny. Which conducted ground tests of a nuclear reactor which could later be flown in space. A 2020 agreement between the agencies included plans to collaborate on nuclear power for the moon. Copy of the memorandum of understanding provided by NASA after January 13th announcement outlines the division of responsibilities for the FSP program. NASA will manage and fund the program and provide DOE with data and analysis and need to ensure compliance with nuclear safety regulations. Oh, maybe that's where that other thing comes in with. Maybe that's where the other thing comes in with the nuclear safety regulations. Maybe that's that's connected to that, to the ESG. I was thinking it was about like nuclear like bombs like using things to like
I thought you said it was nuclear weapons past that test.
Is that what it said?
I thought that's what you said.
Let me go back real quick. Yeah, it is. That is what it says. All right.
So, like, companies are allowed to make nuclear weapons.
That's crazy.
As long as they they uphold these values of using these things carefully. But it's like, it's a nuclear weapon. Like,
yeah, that you can't do that. All right. Trump floats cruise for Supreme Court. Oh, wow. Florida teen arrested at... Oh, no, we already read that one. Africa's only penguin species is starving. Is there still hope?
Hope so.
Me too. I definitely hope so. Poor African penguins. Strange white rocks on Mars hint at millions of years of rain. If an asteroid hits the moon in 2032, the aftermath might reach Earth. I mean, that's kind of obvious. And last but not least, from January, a Marine claims that Bigfoot encounter inside Quantico training zone. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Famous-
Let's get into that.
That is awesome. All right, we'll get into that before we move to February. Let's see. Marines in restricted military training area on Quantico Marine Base report seeing a Bigfoot. Restricted military bases unexpected sighting for a Bigfoot encounter. It's one thing for a couple of bottle rocket shooting teenagers. Oh, shit, hold on. It's one thing for a couple of bottle rocket shooting teenagers to report a Class A encounter with a Bigfoot in the Wisconsin wilderness. It's quite another for a former Marine to submit a story of a run-in in a restricted military training area. The Bigfoot Field Research Organization received one such report a couple of weeks ago from now former Marine in regard to an incident they say took place one summer on Marine Corps Base Quantico in Virginia. BFRO investigator Matthew Moneymaker spoke with the report of the incident, had this to say: I spoke with this former Marine, Andrew Bird, at length. He is credible, and he was not the only one who observed this figure that night. 2 other Marines were with him and saw the same thing. Their encounter started in a restricted military training area near Mount Military Operations in an urban terrain training town, where their patrol originated from. They initially experienced what was described as a compass disorientation anomaly, with all of their compasses indicating they were heading in the right direction, only to end up back where they started. This Bigfoot report comes from a place most people can't access. They decided on a different pickup location. About 15 to 20 minutes into making their way to the new location, had their encounter with a creature in the wooded area. This area is a controlled military training area with restricted access, the former Marine reported. It's not open to the public, and you can't go there without official permission and escort. The incident occurred in July 2005. He was stationed at Marine Corps Quantico for over 3 years. He had 2 other Marines were told to leave at night and make their way through the woods to a vehicle at a pickup location. They were in an active training area, moving quietly with their flashlights off while students trained with blank ammunition. After the issue with their compass, he says, we decided to cut a new azimuth to a different reference point and then adjust course toward a different pickup spot down the road. After roughly 15 to 20 minutes, they heard a loud sound like a tree crack. Fearing it could be a falling tree, they turned on their flashlights and looked in the direction of the sounds. We observed 2 trees next to each other, bending toward one another, and we looked up approximately 20 to 30 feet above the ground. We saw a large, hairy creature with its back facing us, he explained. The creature appeared to be pulling the 2 trees together. The hair was brown or a reddish-brown color. I could not determine whether it had climbed the tree or was already in it, but it was clearly manipulating both trees with great strength. These are not small trees. The creature was more than 8 feet tall with a large body, movements that didn't resemble that of a person. The 3, after initially looking, took off running. As we ran, we heard a very heavy thud and then fast-moving pursuit behind us. These were loud crashing and breaking sounds, like something large moving rapidly through dense brush. This continued for approximately 20 to 30 seconds, he said. At that point, I yelled for the Marine in front to turn on his light so we could move as fast as possible without falling. We turned our lights on and ran at full speed in the general direction of where we believed the road and pickup point were, no longer using our compasses. They reached the vehicle after 5 minutes or so of running, jumped in and told the driver to get them out of there. They're not sure what they saw, but know for sure it was not a black bear or any known animal in the area. Black bears in Quantico are relatively small. And once again, unfortunately left without an image or other evidence of what they encountered that summer night more than 20 years ago. But do we actually need that? Isn't this statement from former Marine enough? This event stayed with me for 20 years. I've never encountered anything before since that explains what we saw that night. That was fascinating. That was interesting. Great way to top off January. All right, first thing on February's radar. Frenchman hospitalized after inserting World War I munition up his rear end. Very fascinating. Representative Nancy Mace made aides upvote her in Reddit on a Who's Hotter post, former staffs allege. A New Jersey man called cops to brag about escaping a police chase. It didn't end well for him. That's hilarious. A man broke into a Little Caesars after it closed and started making pizzas to sell, according to the cops.
That's awesome.
I was going to say, let's read that one. All right. North Carolina man broke into Little Caesars after closing and started making and selling pizzas, cops say. Jonathan Hackett allegedly got into a fight with the Little Caesars employees during a second attempt to enter the store, police say. A man in North Carolina has been charged with multiple felonies after he allegedly broke into a Little Caesars pizza shop after it closed and began making and selling pizzas. The rogue pizza maker, 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett, allegedly entered the Kingston area shop while it was closed on Sunday and kept all the profits from his pizza sales for himself, according to a statement from the Kingston Police Department. Hackett is reportedly a former employee at the shop, and the Charlotte Observer reports he may have gotten away with his alleged crime, but police say that he tried to break into the shop a second time and was arrested. The Kingston Police... What? Why would you do that a second time? The Kingston Police Department responded to Little Caesars in reference to a breaking and entering. Upon arrival, officers were advised that the 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett, a former employee, had unlawfully entered the business on 2 separate occasions, the police said. The report also noted that Hackett allegedly got into a fight with other employees at the shop on the day of the second incident. He had been injured in the brawl and was taken for treatment by the police. During the second incident, Hackett again broke into the business while it was occupied by employees. Employees attempted to prevent Hackett from entering, which resulted in a physical altercation, police said in a statement. Hackett's charges include felony breaking and entering, felony obtaining property by false pretenses, and felony larceny after breaking and entering. Misdemeanor breaking and entering and violating the city's curfew. Wow. Interesting, because the city established a curfew ahead of the major snowstorm that hit the area that last week. Wow, interesting. So that was a fascinating one. Let's see, what else do we got? Winter Olympics hit by penis injection allegations ahead of opening ceremony.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Interesting.
Yeah, there's no, like, I don't know how any sport could get somebody to do this.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucked up. Fisherman fleeing elephants killed by crocodile in Zambia. So that sucks. He was fleeing the elephants and then he just happened to get killed by the crocodiles instead. If it ain't one thing, it's another, you know? Mangled and bent. The Louvre heist surviving treasure is undergoing complete restoration. Fascinating. The Olympic ski jumpers are apparently injecting acid into the penises. All right, yep, we already read that. 12-year-old builds a nuclear fusion machine in bid to set youngest ever world record. That's really cool. Sounds cool. You want to check that one out?
It's not very fascinating to me, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, we'll skip it. A drug dealer inspired by Home Alone rigged house with booby traps.
Let's get into it.
Let's definitely get into it. All right. Let's see. Opening trial to jurors last October, the prosecutor said, if you were sitting there thinking that this sounds a little like the film of Home Alone, then you would be correct. A drug dealer who rigged his house with booby traps after being inspired by the Christmas classic Home Alone has been jailed for 7 years. Ian Clotton used tripwires and homemade pipes to protect his drugs business from would-be intruders. Around 100 homes in Grimethorpe, a former pit village in South Yorkshire, had to be evacuated in May 2024 as police searched 3 neighboring houses connected to Cloughton and his ex-wife. They found a series of traps as well as homemade flamethrowers, large quantities of cannabis, amphetamines, and cat. Mr. Cloughton was jailed for 7 years at Sheffield Crown Court on Tuesday by Judge Graham Reeds, who said he was a drug dealer who used these weapons to protect his cannabis growing operation. His ex-wife, Leslie Cloughton, was sentenced to 21 months in prison, suspended for 2 years. Opening the trial to jurors last October, prosecutor Helen Chapman said, if you are sitting there thinking this sounds a little like the film Home Alone, then you would be correct. In fact, this is precisely what Ian Cloughton said that he was aiming for when he told the police about these devices. Police found a fishing wire running across the length of one of the rooms at knee height, attached to an electrical connector and a battery pack. Ian Cloughton told police the you-know-whats were crow scarers used by farmers, which had inserted into I don't think I can read this part. In one instance, into a bag of paint. A stun gun was found behind a fridge freezer, and a homemade flamethrower was discovered in a workshop. Other weapons found at the properties included 2 high-powered air guns and a crossbow. A large amount of cash was also discovered, including $27,000 sewn into a sofa. Okay. Cannabis plants were found growing in 2 of the houses, including some in tents and in hidden rooms. The Home Alone fan was caught when Border Force found a package of imitation firearms addressed to his ex-wife at Heathrow Airport. Jesus Christ, this dude's fucking crazy. The 5 small silver and black folding 5-shot revolvers had been ordered by Ian Cloughton using Leslie Cloughton's eBay account, the court heard. What the fuck? Ian Cloughton, 60, pleaded guilty to bringing a realistic imitation firearm into the country and being concerned in the production of cannabis and 2 counts of possession with intent to supply Class B drugs. He was convicted of 3 counts of possessing prohibited firearms, possession of criminal property, and possession of blank substances, and after a trial at Doncaster Crown Court. He was cleared of firearms charges relating to a stun gun, and Leslie Clayton, 59, was found guilty of bringing a realistic imitation into the country, possessing Class B drugs with intent to supply, and a possession of criminal property, and being concerned with production of cannabis. Holy shit. All right. That was fascinating.
So he was just selling weed?
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much. And amphetamine, it seems like probably too.
Oh, I didn't hear the amphetamines.
Yeah, that was there was some amphetamines in there. The New York seeks right for beloved but illegal bodega cats. I mean, I thought that they seek rights for the beloved but illegal bodega cats. I mean, give them their rights.
Yeah, why are they illegal?
I don't know. I mean, they're just the stray cats, I guess, so they could be a problem, but like I think they're cool,
Be like that city in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. That just has cats everywhere.
Yeah.
Or the one in Canada that has cats everywhere.
There's one in Canada?
Yeah, because this is actually a fascinating story, and I think it might be similar to the one in Japan, but there was there was this town in Canada or city in Canada where they had like a major rat problem that got like out of hand. So what they did was they brought in a bunch of cat, and then they ended up having like a major cat problem. So it kind of was funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How could there be a cat problem?
I guess there were so many of them, and they just bred like crazy, and they brought in like so many of them that it just led to like just
let them chill. Like, what's the problem?
Let them chill. Yeah, that's cool. The Olympics gave athletes 10,000 free condoms. They were gone in 3 days. An Amazon delivery van gets stuck on tidal mud bath in a military firing. What the fuck? That's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's nuts. Young woman in India fakes snake transformation to escape an arranged marriage. Italy's famous lovers.
Wait, what? She like pretended to turn into a snake?
Yeah.
Like she disappeared and left a snake behind and tried to make them think like that's her?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That's cool, Good for her.
Yeah, it's like a magician's trick.
Yeah, she belongs, I think, in the yearbooks or something, not in jail, She belongs in some well-renowned place. Italy's famous lover's arch collapses into the sea on Valentine's Day. I didn't know that one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's kind of fucking... And anyways, a diner caught on CCTV planting his own armpit hair in meal to avoid paying a $150 bill at a Melbourne restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fucked up. What a bastard.
Oh.
Man in Sicily trained his dog to illegally dump rubbish, say police. That's funny. That's fucked up, but that's kind of funny. Waffle House customer maced, tased, and zip-tied over hash brown order, the lawsuit says.
What?
Yeah, let's see what that's about. I mean, this is a Waffle House, so it's, this stuff happens.
Goes?
Yeah, it happened. Exclusive. Gregory Lynn Hall, 62, claims that he was assaulted by a riot gear-clad security guard after getting in the middle of an argument between a Waffle House cook and a server who turned out to be the cook's wife. Whoa. A Nashville man trying to order a hash brown bowl at an area Waffle House claims he was instead hit in the face with pepper spray, taken to the ground with a stun gun, and immobilized with plastic zip ties following a confrontation with the cook that went off the rails. Gregory Lynn Hall, 62, says he was assaulted by a riot gear-clad security guard at the restaurant after getting in the middle of an argument between the cook and the server who turned out to be the cook's wife. According to a six-figure lawsuit obtained by The Independent. In his complaint, Hall was hospitalized following the altercation, calls the security guard's actions unjustified, excessive, and malicious, and alleging he sought to embarrass and humiliate him. The guard had no reason to confront Mr. Hall with riot gear just because he was trying to order food at the window, says the complaint, which blames the cook for sparking the encounter. What the fuck? However, in response, filed in court on Tuesday, Waffle House attorneys fired back at Hall, arguing that he contributed significantly to the situation. Hall, the response says, was being rude and abusive to employees of the restaurant and was told to leave the premises, which he refused to do. He continued aggressively arguing with the security guard and continued ignoring multiple commands to leave the premises. which resulted in the use of non-lethal force to expel him from the premise. What the fuck? If a jury indeed rules in favor of Hall, who is seeking at least $300,000 in damages, Waffle House argues that a percentage of fault should be
That's it?
assigned to Hall to reduce bar of his recovery. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It
I
should
would
be
sue
more
for way
than that.
more.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get that because that's not much.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a little known Waffle House chain. Like, is Waffle House just a chain of itself? Is that what this is? Waffle House argues that a percentage of fault should be assigned to Hall to reduce or bar his recovery. In an email, Hall's attorney told the Independent that both sides have entered into an agreement, a protective order, which forbids certain sensitive information from being shared and thus declined to comment. The Waffle House chain, open 24/7, was developed a reputation for being a place where fights are known to break out, as memorialized in skits on Saturday Night Live, The Daily Show, and others. Just last year, a customer was pummeled by a Waffle House entire staff after taking a swing at a cook who believed he was responsible for burning his hash browns, according to reports. I probably
my
cleaned
God,
blood
like,
off of
why would you-
every surface at a Waffle House.
Nobody involved is innocent. That's so crazy.
Yeah, Waffle Houses are nuts, dude. You do not want to go
Take
to
a
a Waffle
swing at
House.
somebody because they fucked up your hash browns. Like, dude, hash browns are good when you overcook them. You
Yeah.
asshole.
You gotta watch out for waffle places. Like, they can be kind of tough, you know? Especially 24/7 or late night waffle places, dude.
Like,
Oh
why?
my
It should
God.
be. It's like,
Waffle houses should be a place to come and enjoy, tear into some hash browns, whether they're overcooked or not. What do you expect? You're in a Waffle House. You know? I don't know. Am I victim blaming right now?
no, I don't like this guy. If you're mad because your hash browns are burnt, shut up.
Yeah. Did he deserve to get zip tied and maced and tased?
I thought
don't
that was a
think so.
different scenario.
Oh, no, that was the guy.
That same guy
Yeah.
had the problem with the hash browns.
I guess so, yeah. Over a hash brown order. Zip tied over a hash brown order, lawsuit says. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So are we not on his side
Lock him
anymore?
up forever.
Lock him up forever. He deserves none of that 300,000.
Like everything. If he was just like attacked for trying to break up a fight, then he should be suing for like $2 million for having to go through that.
Yeah.
But if he really if he took a swing at somebody because he was mad that he thought that person burnt his hash browns, castrate him.
Castrate him. All right. Next up, grandson of the inventor of Reese's peanut butter cups says Hershey's new recipe is, quote, not edible. Interesting. How much cocaine is in Nantucket sewage? I'll give you a hint. A lot. Across the U.S., people are dismantling and destroying flock surveillance cameras. I do not condone. That sounds fucking crazy.
That's I think that was something that's been going on in the UK.
Is it?
I could have sworn.
I thought that had been going on in the UK.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, like now it's going on here. That's crazy. A man from Kentucky found covered in fur accused of sex crimes with deer carcass. This is not
no.
this is
a different man from Kentucky.
This is a
for
different
sure.
man from Kentucky. Just so everybody listening knows, we make sure here we vet our men from Kentucky's.
Listen, the man from Kentucky's a real piece of shit, but
yeah, this
he
man
wouldn't
from
do something like
Kentucky's.
that.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that. That's deep down the line. The man from Kentucky is deep and depraved, but he wouldn't do anything that depraved and deeply horrifying.
He wouldn't go that deep into depravity.
Yeah, exactly. Football game stops as player performs CPR on seagull struck by ball in Istanbul. That's cool. That's a good one. That's a really cool one.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Major New Zealand health app breach. Alive patients marked as deceased. Names changed to Charlie Kirk. What?
Whoa.
That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. Mom of 3 who vanished 24 years ago while Christmas shopping found alive and well, authorities say. Okay. Good for her. Scientists reassess human singularity and the odds of alien minds. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Let's check that one out. All right, I have to do something real quick. All right, so the universe may be teeming with alien minds, controversial new research suggests. Human intelligence wasn't a cosmic evolutionary fluke, some scientists say. The case against cosmic loneliness is growing. Over hundreds of thousands of years, humans somehow evolved a type of intelligence found nowhere else in the animal kingdom, at least on Earth. According to the most famous theory describing the emergence of human-level brain power, it's extremely unlikely that intelligence on par with our own would ever evolve anywhere in the cosmos. This hard steps model argues that unlikely transitions or hard steps took place during the process of human evolution, and that each of these hard steps only occurred once, that is, each step toward our complex brains was an evolutionary singularity, so the chance that similarly advanced aliens might be observing us from a telescope light years away is rare at best. But what if everything scientists thought they knew about the hard steps model was wrong? Would that open up the possibility that the same kind of evolution that led to our own complex brains and consciousness may have occurred elsewhere in the universe? Geomicrobiologist Dan Mills, PhD, is open to the idea. An affiliate member of the Penn State Extraterrestrial Intelligence (PSETI) Center, Mills used to be a staunch supporter of the hard steps theory, but his views began to change when he was invited to collaborate on a 2025 review reassessing this model, published in the Journal of Science Advances. At first, I was looking at what makes the hard steps theory look correct, and there is evidence that arguably supports it, he says. To me, the strongest evidence for hard steps is that there do appear to be evolutionary transition in Earth's past that needs to happen for us to exist, and it looks like they only happen once. But even if hard steps are real, we don't know how to identify. Mills has alternative explanations for evolutionary transitions thought to be singularities. These transitions may appear to be one-offs because they are actually artifacts from a process that occurred many times in Earth's deep past, but kept failing. The only fossil evidence left for these transitions make them appear singular in nature. For instance, there may have been different independent origins for eukaryotic organisms that have long since gone extinct. Still, it's entirely possible that some transitions really did happen only once, but not because they were difficult or improbable. When these organisms originated, they might have changed ecosystems and environments relatively long to prevent other lineages from successfully competing, says Mills. This is the priority effect. The successful group causes shifts in the ecosystem, physical and chemical environments, and evolutionary selective pressures so radically that other organisms can't emulate these changes. The first lineage or group to make the transition is the one that endures, preventing any subsequent effort. Most supporters of the hard steps theory would dismiss such ideas, but Anders Anberg, PhD, a researcher at the Memur Center in Stockholm and senior research fellow at the Future of Humanity Institute at Oxford University, approaches the subject with an open mind. Sandberg does see intelligence as rare in the universe. The hard steps theory appeals to him as a logical explanation for why we haven't been able to find, let alone make contact with traces of any other intelligent or civilizations in the universe. However, he thinks there could be other reasons that intelligent beings have eluded us so far, reasons that go beyond the improbability of certain evolutionary singularities. It's not always easy to tell if something was a hard step, he says, echoing Mills. It is possible that life itself is exceedingly rare, especially intelligent life, but another possibility is that intelligent civilizations are common but end up annihilating themselves. This is all shit that we already know.
Yeah. Like
This guy took so long to figure this out.
Yeah, he's really giving himself a pat on the back for just having a quick thought about this thing.
He's like, "Oh, guys, I figured this out. Hey, have any of you heard this? Let me tell you. All right, ready for this? What if there have been aliens, but they blew themselves up? Oh my God, nobody's even thought of that. Right, guys? Right? I'm going to write this in a paper."
He's saying that to somebody and they're like, yeah, wow, like that's really profound. That person he's talking to is actually like a reptilian in a skin mask. Wow, like yeah, you know, you're right. Like that's so likely. Wow, we gotta write about this. We gotta write that down.
Yeah, somebody get this man a computer right now. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't even like this guy. I'm so disappointed in this. I don't even want to say where it's coming from, but I'm so disappointed in this article that I'm saying that it's from Popular Mechanics. And with that is even more disappointing to me. But anyways, I'm going to stop there because this guy is so far behind the, he's behind the times. This scientist is like, what the fuck? Like, very close-minded. He finally opened his mind, but he's just at the first step.
Yeah.
Spanish engineer.
He doesn't realize yet that it's possible that we don't see aliens because they all blew themselves up. but their spirits have lingered, and they're now uh, non-physical entities that live forever from deep in space, and
Yeah.
they can travel at light speed, at the speed of thought.
At the speed of thought. Literally. Imagine if this dude saw a UFO, it would probably blow his mind. Um, a Spanish engineer reports flaw in smart vacuums after gaining control of 7,000 devices.
I heard about this today.
Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's a wild one. So he like got control of them. He was able to like see cameras and shit, I think. He was able to like control them to do his bidding if he wanted to. He could have been a supervillain if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Florida man destroys Chinese restaurant with shovel, claimed to be profit ending new COVID strain. Cool. NASA warns that Earth remains defenseless. Wow, that I just realized that guy is like a racist, like schizophrenic or some shit, or like a racist, mentally ill fucking nutball. NASA warns that Earth remains defenseless against certain asteroids, which NASA warns that Earth remains defenseless against certain asteroids, with experts quote losing sleep over the phenomena. Whoa. We already know that's a Laura Trump reveals president has speech pre-written to announce the discovery of alien life. We all knew that was going on. We all heard about that. That's a fascinating one.
He says that like aliens are working with the Dems and they're demons, and we got to fight them.
Hey, it's a possibility. We'll figure it out. I'm not so pessimistic on aliens, or am I? Who knows? Bacteria frozen.
What if Trump gets on stage and you guys, it's like an emergency address to the whole country. He goes, "It's finally time we talked about this. Aliens are real. They are our overlords. We should love them unconditionally and do everything in our power to please them." And then he just like turns around and like starts blowing an alien.
Well, that would be crazy. That.
But then it's like, yeah, like we're just the toys for these aliens, and we gotta just do whatever they want.
When you said that, what I was thinking in my head before you said that one, I was thinking more so like, what if he said like, "Yep, aliens are here. We have to give up our newborn children to them. We have to give up our babies to them." Like, what if he said some shit like that? Like they require sacrifices. I mean, honestly, that would be crazy.
Honestly, that'd be crazy. I agree. That'd be cuckoo bananas.
Black hole found that can. Oh wait, no, I skipped one. Bacteria frozen inside 5,000-year-old ice cave is crazy resistant to antibiotics. Anyways, a black hole found that contains enough water to fill trillions of Earth-sized oceans. That's cool. Mystery as UFO vault with 3.8 million files is wiped clean hours after Trump demands alien documents released. That I heard about. That's crazy.
Not cool.
Not good. Not cool. Oh, and I'm not sure if this is March news either, but or actually this was either February or I think it was February. That guy that we were talking about today, the guy who helped, he was on a team that discovered water on Mars or something like that, or water in space, or on an exoplanet or something like that. He ended up like getting killed at his house or something. And something that is very, very, very interesting.
That might have happened this month, right?
I think that happened last month. I feel like if it did happen this month, it happened like the 1st. But another thing that may have actually happened this month, but I'm gonna say it anyways because it's very fascinating and relates to all of this is or it seemingly does, is that general who went missing in New Mexico, and yeah, I think it was the New Mexico desert. Is it General McClassland? It's the famous like UFO general whistleblower went missing. You know what I'm talking about?
Tell me about it.
Hold on, let me roll this real quick. Before I tell you about it, I want you to know that Egypt discovered a 4,300-year-old body wrapped in pure gold inside a limestone coffin. Anyways.
Do they know whose body it is?
I don't know. And also, before I get into A tour guide was arrested after drawing a stick figure on a 4,000-year-old pyramid. All right. Anyways, General, I think it's McCasland. Is that who it is? McCasland. All right. Oh, this was in February, so this is interesting. FBI involved in search for retired Air Force Major General missing for nearly 2 weeks. A high-ranking retired Air Force Major General who once commanded a base long associated with UFO lore has been missing for nearly 2 weeks, and authorities are appealing to the public for help finding him, according to the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office in New Mexico. Retired Air Force General William Neal McCasland, 68, left his Albuquerque home on foot at approximately 11 a.m. February 27th and has not been in contact with family or friends since, the Sheriff's Office said in a news release on March 6th. The Sheriff's Office issued a silver alert the next day, which remains in effect. McCasland has an unspecified medical issue and has been added to the urgency of the search, authorities said. His phone, prescription glasses, and wearable devices were left behind at the house, and investigators believe his hiking boots, wallet, and a .38 caliber with a leather holster are missing, the Sheriff's Office said in a news release on Thursday. Investigators also released a more detailed timeline showing a repairman interacted with McCasland at the home around 10 a.m. on February 27th, and his wife returned shortly after noon to find him gone. A gray U.S. Air Force sweatshirt was found about 1.25 miles east of McCasland's home during a search on March 7th through. Officials said it has not been confirmed to belong to him. According to the Thursday release, no blood was found on the sweater, and the Sheriff's Office said. Authorities have conducted extensive neighborhood canvassing interviews and coordinated search operations in an effort to find him, contacting more than 700 homeowners in the neighborhood, the Sheriff's Office said. McCasland is 5'11", white hair and blue eyes, the Sheriff's Office said. He's an avid outdoorsman who hikes, runs, and cycles in Albuquerque's Northeast Heights neighborhood in the Sandia Mountains foothills. Investigators released a photo on Thursday showing McCasland in a light green long-sleeve button-up outdoor shirt he may have been wearing at the time he went missing. Search efforts have also included drones, helicopter support, ground search and rescue teams, and canine units, though investigators say they have not identified any confirmed sightings or footage showing McCasland leaving the area or indicating a direction of travel, according to the Thursday release. Due to his background and established partnerships with BCSO, is coordinating closely with multiple agencies, including the FBI Albuquerque Field Office and Kirtland Air Force Base, the Sheriff's Office said. The FBI has confirmed its involvement. McCasland held some of the most sensitive positions in the U.S. military, according to the Air Force. An astronautical engineer with degrees from the U.S. Air Force Academy, the MIT and the JFK School of Government at Harvard University. He held a series of high-level posts during his career. He served as chief engineer on the Department of Defense's Global Positioning System program. It's called the Department of War now. And the System Program Director of Space-Based Laser Project Office and Director of Special Programs at the Pentagon. He also commanded the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, a base long rumored to house extraterrestrial debris linked to Roswell, despite Air Force denials. Following his retirement, McCasland briefly worked with Blink-182 musician Tom DeLonge, a co-founder of the To the Stars Incorporated, a company that says it studies information about UAPs, his wife said. CNN has reached out to the Air Force and McCasland family for comment. His disappearance came just after President Trump announced in a Truth Social post he was directing the Pentagon and other federal agencies to release the government records related to the ETs and UFOs. I hope and pray this is not one of those cases where a former senior military officer was specifically targeted and will be found happy and healthy in the immediate near term for his sake and the sake of his loved ones. Louis Elizondo, a former DoD intelligence officer who now advocates for the release of... Dude, I'm starting to think Louis Elizondo's in on some shit, to be honest.
You think?
What is it?
You think so?
Yeah, he seems like he might be a little bit of an insider more than he lets on. Whether or not his disappearance had anything to do with any legacy involvement in what he may have had in UAP research, I prefer to allow enforcement the necessary time to do their work before speculating, he added. Yeah, I don't know. He strikes me as suspicious. And a lot of people that I listen to, they say that he kind of is a little suspicious for a few different reasons, but I don't have to get into that here. It is true that Neil had a brief association with the UFO community. McCaslin's wife, Susan McCaslin Wilkerson, said in a Facebook post, the connection is not a reason for someone to abduct Neil. Neil does not have any special knowledge about the ET bodies and debris from the debris from the Roswell crash stored at Wright Pat. Dude, I love how she said that. She goes on Facebook and goes, hey, this has nothing to do with someone trying to abduct Neil. Neil does not have any special knowledge about the ET bodies that are, in fact, and the debris from the Roswell crash stored at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. We all know this is the case. He doesn't know about it. She literally posted that on a Facebook post. Like what? Like, hey, we all know that aliens are real. The Roswell crash happened, and the debris is stored at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. But he doesn't know anything about that. He has no connection to that.
Yeah, lay off him.
Yeah, lay off him. Like, what? She single-handedly kind of confirmed that Roswell happened by saying that, right? That kind of confirms it, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, why would she say that? She basically just came out and said that the Roswell crash happened and it's stored at Wright-Patterson Base. She didn't deny it. She just said that, yeah, he doesn't have any special knowledge about that. What? A silver alert is an emergency notification pushed out statewide. Is similar to an amber alert, but for missing persons over the age of 50. Oh, the silver alert. That's interesting. It's basically like, yeah, who display a deterioration of intellectual faculties. Whoa. According to the New Mexico Department of Public Safety, but Wilkerson said her husband does not have dementia. He was not confused and disoriented, she said. McCaslin retired nearly 13 years ago, and Wilkerson said it seems quite unlikely that he was taken to extract very dated secrets from him. Yeah, I don't know. Wilkerson thanked the community and authorities for their support, noting the dozens of researchers on foot, both official and friends and neighbors of Neil's horseback searchers, drones with different capabilities, helicopters, 3 different types of search dogs, and neighborhood canvassing and looking for ring or wildlife videos. Wow. The sheriff's office said it was so far uncovered no evidence of foul play, but is still considering all possible scenarios. Investigators have asked those in the area to contact them if they have any information. Footage and other files can be sent to the sheriff's office through a dedicated page. Maybe the best hypothesis is that aliens beamed him up to the mothership, Wilkerson said in her post. I'll be honest with you, if she's saying that does not ring very well for that guy. However, no sightings of a mothership hovering above the Sandia Mountains have been reported. Whoa. I don't know if that bodes well for General McCaslin. All right. You got any final thoughts about February and, and January?
Get ready for March. It's a doozy.
Get ready for March. Hopefully nothing crazy happens the next 2 months.
Oh, wait. We're going to announce that I got a bingo card.
Oh, yeah.
One of my bingo spots has been checked off.
Yeah, I don't even know. That might have been in February, honestly. But no,
It still happened this year.
It was in March. It was in March. I think it wasn't. I know. I'm just trying to think of but we will talk about that. That is pretty interesting. Oh shit, dude.
What?
One of my bingo cards too. I just realized it. I mean, I said something about a moon base.
Just something about a moon base?
That's what I said in the fucking episode. I said that there was gonna be something about a moon base this year.
Okay, cool.
I just fucking remembered that because the fucking the power plant one. That's crazy. I was not expecting that to actually hit. That's crazy.
Damn, I was taking the lead for a minute.
No, I mean you're still taking the lead. You still have more than me.
Do I?
I think I only have 2 so far. I mean the AI with the animals thing. I mean we'll see how that goes, and robot law enforcement. We'll see how that goes too.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Any last things before we
Let's
head
end
out?
it here.